In a world where every step, every breath, every glance seems to carry the invisible weight of others' energies, there lies a forgotten secret. An ancient knowledge, guarded by mystics, shamans, and sages from the most remote civilizations, that promises not only to protect your essence but to restore your absolute control over who you are. Imagine walking through a crowd and, instead of being swept away by the emotions, fears, and anxieties of others, feeling like an unshakable mountain, calm, centered, immune to the storms raging around you. This is no fantasy. It is a possible reality, and today you will discover how to attain it. For millennia, in the shadows of Egypt's pyramids, the stone circles of Ireland, and the hidden temples of Tibet, the guardians of spiritual knowledge practiced a simple yet profoundly transformative ritual. They called it the art of weaving light, a technique to build an invisible shield around the body, capable of filtering dense energies and keeping the soul intact. But over time, this secret was buried under layers of disbelief, materialist science, and the frenetic pace of modern life. Until now. Have you ever felt that upon entering certain places or interacting with certain people, your mood plummets without explanation? As if a dark fog invaded your chest, stealing your peace? It is no coincidence. Nor is it imagination. You are experiencing what the ancients called energy invasion, a phenomenon as real as the air we breathe, yet invisible to the untrained eye. In recent years, science has begun to corroborate what spiritual traditions have always known. Our energy field, our aura, is as sensitive as a crystalline lake. Every foreign emotion is like a stone cast into its waters, creating ripples that disturb our inner clarity. But here is the truth few dare to admit: you need not be a passive victim in this invisible game. There is a way to become a warrior of light, one who not only resists the chaotic energies of the world but transforms them into strength. It begins with an act of courage, the decision to recognize that your energy is sacred and deserves to be protected at all costs. Let me share a true story from 2017 in the mountains of Nepal. A group of climbers, lost in a snowstorm, was rescued after 3 days of searching. All survived, but what stood out was the account of one climber: "I could feel the others' panic consuming me. Then I closed my eyes and imagined a golden light around me. Suddenly, their fear stopped affecting me. It was as if I were in a bubble of peace." Unknowingly, this man had activated the same principle Tibetan monks used to meditate in icy caves: the energy shield. Here is the secret most overlooked: your energy field is not a passive entity. It is an extension of your will. When you learn to shape it, you become capable of creating a boundary between your soul and external chaos. Picture it as armor made of light, as flexible as air yet stronger than steel. This armor does not isolate you from the world, it allows you to experience it without being corroded. But how could something so powerful be forgotten? The answer lies in human nature itself. For centuries, we've been trained to doubt the invisible, to ridicule what we cannot touch. Meanwhile, our energies dissipated, our essences diluted, and we became puppets of external influences. Until, one day, life forces us to confront the crucial question: who am I when no one is influencing me? The energy shield technique is not merely a tool of protection, it is a portal to your true identity. By practicing it, you are not just blocking negative energies, you are reaffirming, with every breath, that your existence is valuable enough to be preserved. And that, dear viewer, is a revolutionary act in a world intent on molding you to its image. But the true magic of the energy shield lies not just in its defensive power. It reveals the nature of reality itself. Quantum physicists have discovered that subatomic particles behave differently when observed, as if human consciousness could influence matter. The energy shield operates on the same principle. By directing your conscious intention to shape your energy field, you are literally reprogramming the reality around you. Imagine a web of light connecting all things: every thought, every emotion, every person. In this web, you are not a passive thread but an active weaver. Each visualization of the shield is an act of creation, a deliberate knot in this cosmic network. And here is the secret the ancients never shared: the more you practice, the stronger this web becomes, not just for you, but for all who cross your path. It is like lighting a candle in a dark hole: your light illuminates not only yourself but offers a beacon to those lost in shadows. A fascinating case from 2019 in a Swiss psychiatric hospital illustrates this. Patients with severe anxiety disorders were split into two groups. One practiced energy shield visualization for 10 minutes daily, while the other continued conventional treatment. After 8 weeks, the shield group reported a 68% reduction in panic episodes. One participant, Marcus, shared, "For the first time, I felt I wasn't fighting my mind but creating a safe space within it." This safe space is key to understanding why the energy shield is revolutionary. In the age of digital hyperconnection, where others' energies reach us through social media, catastrophic news, and even text messages, the ability to create an internal boundary becomes not just useful but vital. Think of it as airplane mode for the soul, a setting that lets you stay connected to the world but no longer dominated by it. Now, let us explore a rarely discussed aspect. The energy shield is not static. It evolves with you. In the early days, you might visualize it as a thick, impenetrable wall. Over time, you'll notice it becoming fluid, adapting to situations like a second instinct. Maria, a teacher from Sao Paulo, described this poetically. At first, my shield was like a heavy coat, it protected me but limited my movements. Now, it's like a second skin, so natural I don't notice it's there, until someone tries to hurt me, and fails. Asterisk. Here, the practice transcends the spiritual and becomes existential. By strengthening your shield, you are telling the universe, I exist. My boundaries matter. My peace is non-negotiable. This creates a ripple effect across your life. Toxic relationships dissolve naturally, as those who feed on others' energy find you an infertile desert. Opportunities aligned with your purpose begin to arise, as if the universe responds to a clearer frequency. But beware, there is a subtle trap many miss. The energy shield must not become an excuse for emotional isolation. True protection lies in balancing openness and discernment. Like a fenced garden, you allow light and rain to nurture your flowers but keep pests from destroying your roots. This lesson helped Ahmed, a Syrian refugee, find hope in a Greek camp. I saw people losing their humanity, turning to stone. I decided my protection would be different, a shield that blocked hatred but let compassion through. That's how I found strength to help others, even with nothing. This nuance is crucial. The energy shield is not a barrier against life, it is a filter that lets you live fully without being poisoned by what doesn't serve you. To master it, you must practice not just visualization but the art of detachment. Have you heard of the unattached observer principle? In Eastern traditions, it is the ability to witness your emotions without identifying with them. Combine this with the energy shield, and you reach a state of inner grace. You can sense a colleague's anger, a relative's anxiety, or a crowd's negativity, without letting these feelings become yours. It's like watching an intense film, knowing it's just a projection. You may feel moved, but you don't confuse the drama on screen with the reality of the cinema. A striking 2021 Stanford University experiment demonstrated this. Participants were shown emotionally charged videos while meditating with the energy shield. Brain scans revealed that although they recognized the emotions, their amygdala, the brain's fear centers, remained inactive. It's as if they were aware of the storm but chose to remain in the eye of the hurricane, calm amid the chaos, explained lead researcher Dr. Elena Torres. This brings us to the energy shield's greatest gift, reclaiming your power of choice. Without protection, we are leaves in the wind, tossed by every emotional current. With the shield, we become navigators of our own vessel, choosing which winds to harness and which storms to avoid. But how to sustain this practice in a world that values speed over depth? The answer lies in microintegration. You don't need hours of meditation. Simply create energy anchors throughout your day. While washing hands, imagine water carrying away stagnant energy. Before replying to a difficult message, take 3 breaths while visualizing green light, the color of healing, around you. In public spaces, silently repeat "protected" while pressing your thumb to your index finger, an ancient mantra for sealing energy. These small rituals act as continuous reinforcements for your shield, keeping it active even in chaos. They're powerful because they use physical triggers, daily actions to reprogram your energy field. An intriguing example comes from Japan, where Tokyo executives use a shield variation called Heido Guard. Before stressful meetings, they visualize protective kanji characters floating around them. It's not superstition, CEO Hiroshi Yamamoto explains. It's a way to remind the brain who's in control. When my team practices this collectively, even the room's atmosphere shifts. This points to a broader horizon, the collective potential of the energy shield. When intentional groups focus on the same visualization, studies suggest they can influence energy fields on a larger scale. In 2020, during global social justice protests, thousands worldwide visualized a golden shield enveloping protesters and police. Reports emerged of inexplicably reduced violence and unlikely dialogues, as if protective energy had created space for solutions to emerge. Skeptics will call this coincidence. But what if it's not? What if each individual act of energy protection contributes to a greater field, much as neurons contribute to human consciousness? Quantum physics already shows entangled particles can affect each other across distances. Why not our intentions? Try this exercise now. Close your eyes for 10 seconds and imagine your spine as a cosmic antenna. At its crown, a white starlight, at its base, red roots plunging into Earth. Feel this sky-to-earth connection flowing through you. This is the pillar of light, a technique used by Siberian shamans to anchor protection and purpose. When activated, it transforms your shield from an isolated bubble into a bridge between the divine and the earthly. You might wonder, this sounds ideal, but what about days when I feel weak, when even visualizing seems impossible? Here lies another secret. The energy shield doesn't rely on momentary strength but on the consistency of your intent. On hard days, it may feel like a faint curtain of light, yet it exists. Like a muscle, it strengthens with use, not perfection. This persistence saved Lucia, a single mother in Rio de Janeiro. On my worst days, when exhaustion hit, I'd whisper, "Shield active." Even without belief. One day, I realized I'd gone a week without crying in the shower. Slowly, I reclaimed my space. True transformation happens this way, not as an earthquake but as the tide, steady, patient, reshaping the shores of your being. Over time, you'll notice subtle shifts. Toxic people naturally drift away, as if your presence lacks fuel for them. Decisions grow clearer as you hear intuition without external noise. Meaningful dreams and synchronicities increase, signs you're aligned with your energy path. Yet the shield's greatest proof may lie in the invisible, nights of deep sleep despite global crises, moments of silence where you finally hear your soul unfiltered, the renewed courage to be exactly who you are, not a diluted version shaped by fear of rejection. A story from ancient Egypt endures. Initiates in mystery schools faced a final trial, 3 days in an underground labyrinth where energy entities attempted possession. Survivors continuously chanted Shenu, a mantra meaning "I am light." Today, your labyrinth may be an office, social media, or a dysfunctional family. But the principle remains: your inner light is invincible when fueled by awareness. So, dear viewer, as you navigate this world of clashing energies, remember, you are not an empty vessel to be filled by others. You are a lighthouse, and every act of energy protection adjusts your glow. Burning brighter isn't selfishness, it's a service to all who need a reference point in the dark.